What's going on, guys? This is Empty Box, and holy crap, it's Gran Turismo 2. Quite clearly, the real driving simulator. It even says right there on the menus, the real driving simulator. So it's a more real driving simulator than all those other real driving simulators, because it is the real driving simulator. So anyway, some of you guys will be like, what the... What? Huh? Empty Box playing Gran Turismo. What is this madness? But yeah, playing Gran Turismo. Yes. And we are going to be racing towards the Gran Turismo World Championship here in this playthrough. We've already gone through a lot, which there's a playlist with all the old videos and everything like this, because I'm sure some of you guys are like, huh? Right about now. So you can go ahead and watch those and see where we are. But long story short, this is a playthrough where we're trying to win the Gran Turismo World Championship, which doesn't really take all that long. We've kind of made some diversions along the way and everything like that. But the main goal is the main goal, which is to win the Gran Turismo World Championship, which we are kind of sniffing at. We should probably get there, at least in this series of videos. Or in my recording here tonight, but obviously it'll take a couple of episodes to get there for you guys to see. Sucks for you, right? Not really. But yeah, some of you guys will definitely be shocked by this. If you didn't know, I do enjoy other video games, and no, I don't care that, oh my god, Gran Turismo is a console game, or oh my god, Gran Turismo has terrible physics, or whatever, because it's half the fun. You know, it's a video game. It's supposed to be fun, and Gran Turismo is one of the best racing series out there. Gran Turismo 2 or Gran Turismo 4 is the best racing game ever created in my eyes. Like, ever. Ever. You know, it's either Gran Turismo 2 or Gran Turismo 4, in my opinion, for best racing game of all time, and it's that simple. I mean, there's nothing that comes close. Because you know what? Nowadays in Gran Turismo, they'd be like, oh, you got too much wheel spin, so your tires are now overheated, or some BS, and it just tries to be realistic, and it's not, and it sucks all the fun out of it. Like, nowadays, this is Gran Turismo 5, which is the last Gran Turismo game that I really played, which, don't get me wrong, I didn't have a problem with. It was a fun game, just not nearly the same level as Gran Turismo 4, which, you know, I guess, yeah, you look at Gran Turismo 1, Gran Turismo 3, Gran Turismo 5, you know, the odd-numbered Gran Turismos aren't the spectacular ones. You know, I haven't really spent a lot of time with Gran Turismo 6, but you know, it's just like one of those things where it's like, yeah, okay, I see the pattern, and it is what it is, but, you know, yeah. Gran Turismo 4, honestly, that was a very tough act to follow up anyways. And then, you know, the whole delay massiveness, which Gran Turismo 4 was also massively delayed, but it just took itself too seriously. You know, if this was Gran Turismo 5 at least, I'm sure it's probably still the same in Gran Turismo 6. They'd be saying, oh, well, you gotta have this specific body type on your car. It's gotta have this specific displacement. It's gotta have this amount of performance points. It's gotta be from this country. No, it's a race for European cars. So you know what I want to do? I want to show up in a bright yellow Corvette, because you know what? I'm that guy. Okay? I'm that guy. And that's why I'm running wide, because this is a C4 Corvette. The Corvette hasn't been taught how to turn yet. It's funny, because it's true. Some of you guys will also notice that, yes, these videos are entirely different than my other stuff, because, hey, this is an entirely different game, so the approach is entirely different. You know, it's kind of strange. I am playing on an emulator. I'm using EPSXE, the Enhanced PlayStation X emulator. We'll brake nice and early for this corner. I was way too early. I'm going to take a polygon or two up the rear end. That sounds perverted. But yeah, I course, do have a PlayStation 1 still. I do have a copy of Gran Turismo 2, both the simulation and the arcade discs, which I always found very strange. I never spent a lot of time with the arcade disc, although it does have the intro on it, which is like the best intro in the series, with probably the best intro song in the series, which is my favorite game by the Cardigans, which you should go ahead and YouTube and listen to that song, because you'll be like having it stuck in your head all day, and it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling to have. Brake early. Remember, this is a 90s Corvette. This is not no C7, that is for sure. In case some of you guys are not familiar with Gran Turismo 2, yes, the AI does have massive catch-up abilities. And yes, there is only like one song that plays in a race per race. So, yeah. That's kind of awesome. As in, it sucks. But, hey, you want to deal with it. It's not too big of an issue. Oh, that Lotus handling is totally eating up the ground. That America torque, yeah! You got this. Apricot Hill, what a nice little racetrack. I never did think that this place got a lot of love. And that's another thing with the Gran Turismo series. That if you watch these videos, you've heard me mention before, what happened to the cool fictional tracks that were actually kind of like racetracks, but fictional? Like this, it feels like it's trying to be an actual racetrack, and that's cool. I like that. I like fictional racetracks that are fictional, but are racetracks. I don't want these, oh hey, well, let's go race through Yosemite. Yay! It's just like, yeah, I'm looking at you, El Capitan. Or Hong Kong, just like, yeah. Why? Why you do this? Why? And what happened to the music? That is the best music in the history of gameplay. You know why? Because that music plus the credits counting down just means I'm in the money, I'm in the money, I'm in the money, so bring on the next race, yeah. Sorry, I promise not to sing as much this time. So Grand Valley Speedway, let's see what field we get this time around. Grand Valley Speedway, the quintessential Gran Turismo track, I guess. Another great fictional track that, you know, I think everybody who's played Gran Turismo remembers the first time that they raced on the full Grand Valley circuit and they crossed the bridge after coming out of the tunnel and is like, whoa. That's amazing. There's something special, man, and it is glorious. You know, of course, by modern standards, yes, this game doesn't necessarily hold up, and no, there's not really any particular reason to be like, hey. No. Hey, I'm gonna play Gran Turismo 2 because, well, it's got this. And my controller has died. That's what you get for using a Microsoft product to play a Sony game on a PC. Oh my god, that's a very convoluted mess of my battery is full. Okay, we have assumed direct control of the vehicle. We will, you know, go ahead and write that off as a mechanical DNF right there. Again, this is a 90s Corvette. They haven't figured out quality control and handling, stuff like that. So, okay, let's wait for my controller to spring back into life here. It does take a little while. Maybe. I know you love that menu music. It's good stuff. It is good stuff. There we go. And we're back to reality. Apparently I gotta hit the Xbox guide button to get my PlayStation emulator to work. Something like that. don't quite understand the logic in that, but yeah, anyways. Mechanical failure. Curse you, Chevrolet quality control. Oh. Oh well, we got a better song anyways, so yay. Go us. Aston Martin DB7. Another testament to... Yeah. Good job, Ford. Good job. Yeah, you done did great. Yeah. You done did great. It's such a good car. Aston Martin DB7. So bad that I don't even think James Bond drove it. Okay, let's think about that one. Then again, James Bond in the 90s was, well, Pierce Brosnan, and I know people are going to say, oh, well, the GoldenEye! Which is because the video game was so fantastically good, and it is, still. It's absolutely amazing, even though you only get like 5 frames per second playing multiplayer. Yeah, remember that? No, you don't. But yeah, that's how it was. And we dealt with it. Come on. And there's the bridge. This is like so mind-blowing. So mind-blowing. I think it's actually kind of actually a little bit sad. That was a pretty dang good corner, if I do say so myself. I think it's actually pretty sad that now we've hit the point of diminishing returns where you're seeing with the, you know, the Xbox One and the PS4 and yeah, I was gonna make a Nintendo joke about the Wii U, but this is lame. Nobody needs to make a joke about a Wii U because it's a big enough joke as it is. Good job, Nintendo. Well done. But you know, it's like, yeah, they look better than the previous generation or current generation. What? Yeah, we're in that weird transition phase. Yeah, realism. Yeah, 4-door Mercedes. I don't care if it's an AMG or not. Just outbraked a Corvette. Yeah. Told you, fantastical AI catch-up abilities. But anyways, back to the point I'm trying to make. You know, we've hit that point of diminishing returns where you just don't get the same increases. You don't get the same whoa factor. I mean, even in the PS1 era, it's kind of strange. If you look at the early PS1 games, they almost look like Super Nintendo games. Like, marginally improved. And then you look at Gran Turismo 2 here, it's like, whoa. Wow. And you look at the, fast forwarding a little bit, you know, PlayStation 2, Gran Turismo 4, that still is a good looking game, other than the fact that the cars are low resolution. But otherwise, my goodness, oh my god, it is a sign. It is a sign. What the deuce? And yeah, I've actually tried 2 different controllers, and yes, this has happened before, and that's kind of another reason why this playthrough stopped. Although I thought I had it fixed, but yeah. But you just don't get that holy cow, like this is like a whole new world, you know, type thing going on. But let's see if we can catch up with the field here. See if we can use their auto magical catch-up abilities to make them automatically slow down. So we are going to be wheeling this Corvette around Grand Valley. What do we got? What kind of speed do we have today? Will the steering wheel last another lap, or will it fail massively? Whoa! I was secretly going for a reverse entry drift. That is what that was right there. That was a failed attempt at a reverse entry drift. Totally. And anyone who says otherwise is lying. So we're going to just get away from Grand Valley for now because you guys are sick and tired of seeing me fail at Grand Valley, as well as the fact that, well, I think it's cursed. I think it's cursed. So let's try a different circuit. Which happens to also be a fantastic demonstration because Rome. This is most certainly one of those tracks that was mind-blowing. It's like, whoa! It's the Colosseum! It's crazy, man. It really was like a whole new world. It was a different level. It was amazing. Like, look at that. Look at that. It's just amazing. And okay, video's over for now. I'm gonna go figure this out, and yeah, I'll return. So by temporarily, hopefully, maybe, sort of. Curse you, GM quality control in the 90s. Okay, sometimes things just don't go according to plan. That was one of them. So I've switched cars because, yeah, you know, that could be a thing. I don't know. It could be some sort of sign from higher up or something, or something like that. I promise it was not planned or anything like that to make fun of Chevrolet in the 90s. But yeah. It's kind of funny in its own hilarious way. So we switched over to the Nissan R390 GT1 road car, which only has like 350 horsepower. So no, this isn't going to be just an instant cake stomping. With the fact that the AI is so ludicrous, catch-up ability, talented, they are clutch. They are clutch to the maximum extent of the PlayStation system's capabilities, or something like that. This car is so much more stable. It actually turns. Yay! And of course, no, I'm not gonna buy a European car until we go do the American events, or I think it's Pan-American or something like that. I don't know. It's U.S. and Japan, in which case we are going to buy a European car. And I already know what I'm going to buy. And I'm pretty sure I should have enough money. Although one disappointing thing with those events, and kind of going back against what I said earlier about having too many limitations and everything in these races nowadays in the Gran Turismo franchise, and Forza as well. Just look at that. He just rammed in the wall, and nothing happened. And you know who cares? Not this guy. Nowadays, people be screaming, "What's the damage? What's the damage? Oh, it's terrible. This game has no damage." You know what? No. Doesn't matter. Good racing game is a good racing game. Has good driving fun, good car selection, good sounds. Something Gran Turismo still lacks. And good tracks, you know? And good sounds, at least in the soundtrack as well. That's something that Gran Turismo has done very well, I might add. But, you know, it's a whole package. But no, unfortunately, with the events that we're doing here, they do have a horsepower limit, which is 591 horsepower, which basically means whatever you want, as long as it's under 591 horsepower, you're allowed to race it. Doesn't matter what it is. Does not matter one single bit, as long as that one detail is met. But sadly, the car I'd like to run, just because, why not, the Vector, the W8 twin turbo. Has like 650 horsepower. So you can't race it? It's like, oh man, I just wanted to race the Vector. Because it's that car that just, like, somebody built this? Huh? Just crazy. Silly. It is literally that car that a 12-year-old me drew in my notebook in school, and somebody actually built it, more or less. We all drew that car in our notebooks in school, and somebody did build it, and that's why it's awesome. That's why the Vector is that legendary car that it is. Look at that, just bounce into the wall, bounce off the car. No problem. You know what? That can be a good thing. Sometimes your flaws can be a good thing. For example, right now, you don't see it. You probably can't tell. But yeah, my car couldn't go any faster because that's as close as I can get to this guy. There you go. You can quite clearly see I'm pushing him along, even though there's about 3 feet of space between me and his bumper. And yes, I should probably shift every now and then. It's kind of funny though how the AI has gone way downhill in racing games in particular. I mean, it applies to pretty much every game it seems, but particularly racing games. Or nowadays, they don't even have the catch-up ability, which it sounds really weird. In some games it makes no sense, but in a game like Gran Turismo, catch-up is amazing. Like, the fact that I can take a car that probably is a little bit too fast, but they can keep up with me. And there's a video in this series I did where I ran laps that are like 7 seconds faster my second time through the race. And it was like, oh, you know, here's clear demonstration of AI catch-up, but you know, the cars instantly go faster than the people that you race with, and the robots that you race with, the binary code you race with, goes faster and faster and faster to a certain point. I mean, as you can see, I'm starting to open up a gap now that I've kind of refined my driving. But, you know, nowadays you just don't get that. It's like, oh, hey, it's an AI. Let's be all realistic and boring and stuff. You know, because, yeah, realism's great, and I think it's clear that I enjoy realism. You can take a look on this YouTube channel and I think you'll kind of get the point, but sometimes you don't need realism, and that is the fun of it. It's like, I don't care if a game's realistic, I want the good kind of realism when it makes sense. It's like playing a first-person shooter and saying, this game sucks because there's respawn. Okay, yeah, sure, it might be worse off because it has respawn. You might enjoy the intense experience that you get when there's no respawn, and the chaos and the intensity that you get at being shot at in a game where you only have one life to live. Wait, what? Isn't that a soap opera or something? Wow. Shouldn't have just said that, because I think it is a soap opera, and now people are going to be like, man card. There you go. But it's just like sometimes you just gotta cut loose, you gotta be silly, and just to keep the flavor going, we will hop in a TVR Speed 12. That definitely won't make the horsepower limits. Ooh, some nice cars, some JGTC cars, otherwise known as Super GT now. Obviously, got the infamous, that's famous actually, Castrol Supra and the Zexel Skyline, but I'm looking for my turbo boosted Honda Civic Type R because, again, because I'm that guy. Yeah. Because I am that guy. It's like, you know what? It makes no sense. It doesn't have an outcome on the race. Doesn't really matter. They're not laughing at me, but I know secretly if they were real opponents, they'd be thinking, who is this guy? Really? Really? We're trying to have a serious race to gain our entry into the Gran Turismo World Championship between our fantastic European sporting automobiles, and you show up with a rice burner. Really? Man, you just out your mind. But of course, this isn't just any Honda Civic Type R. This is a Honda Civic Type R with a turbo on it and a 5-speed transmission. I forgot all about that, and that is going to be a bad thing. A very bad thing. It would be pretty funny, though, if game reviewers were to go back and review this era of gaming, like the games from this era, and take a look at them again, because I'm pretty sure that people would just look at them and be like, what the heck? This is like terrible. Like everything that made these games so much fun is the same exact stuff that they would absolutely tear the game down for. Like you saw earlier, I literally bounced off a car to go through the corner. People would be like, you can't do that, the game's broken, it's terrible driving and everything like that, it's a terrible game, and it's developed by people who've never watched racing and have no idea about cars. You know, it's terrible. It's like, who programmed this? Come on. Very lackluster, uninspired effort. Always love that line. That's a great one. You know, of course there's the nostalgia thing, but even still playing it, it's fun. But if I go play like one of the arcade games now, you know, like play the Grid series, you know, it does nothing for me because it has no fun in the driving. It's just like bleh. Which is kind of really not that far from what Gran Turismo was. I just ran into a wall at like 90 miles an hour, bounced off it doing 70, carried on about my business. Because I can. And that's just awesome. It's charm. And that corner is impossible. I swear, I have never figured that thing out. I also like how the banners change at the tracks. I always thought that was really cool, and actually quite impressive for a PlayStation 1 game, I might add. In fact, there's still a lot of games, and by that I mean like almost all of them that don't have that, which is pretty interesting. Which I think, you know, nowadays, now that everybody knows Polyphony Digital or Polyphony Digital, I prefer to say Polyphony just because sounds weirder like that. You know, we've become more and more knowledgeable to just how crazy they are about Gran Turismo and the cars and everything like that, and the racing experience, to a point where they honestly probably do make a worse game because of it, if you ask me. But you didn't ask me. You just clicked on this video, and now you're getting my opinions, whether you like it or not. Ha ha ha. That's how this works. But, you know, that type of detail was kind of like, ooh, whoa. It's another thing that really made it stand out. And I noticed how when we switched to the Japanese cars, suddenly things seem to go a little bit smoother. I don't know what that's saying, but yeah, it's saying something, I'm pretty sure. But we'll see here. They are right on our backs. They are right on our fart can. You better watch out. Hope that VTEC kicks in. See, that's another fun thing with these videos, because I get to do them entirely different, and I get to make a lot of VTEC jokes whenever I drive this car, which, yes, I purely drive this car here in Gran Turismo 2 just for the sake of making VTEC jokes, because it sounds fun. No, I'm not a racer. I quite frankly despise the whole stick wings on your car when it's not actually fast thing. And I do despise people thinking their not fast car is fast. It's kind of silly. Your car is what it is, and you should enjoy it for what it is, not try and make it something that it's not. Oh yeah, my Honda Civic's really cool because it runs 15-second in the quarter mile. No, that's not the bragging point. No. Just find a new line. Find a new way to approach things. Or it's sick because it's got a giant wing on it. Yeah, no. No. Like, I'm the kind of guy who, my car, which, you guys who don't know, I drive a 2006 Acura RSX, which is Honda Integra over in Europe and Japan. The Type R wing makes the car look 10,000% better, honestly. It is a much better looking car with the Type R wing, but I will not put a Type R wing on my car because my car is not a Type R, so I'm not gonna freaking pretend it is, and yeah. Like, that's me, you know, that's my thing. So, now we're gonna take on some Americans, and we're gonna go ahead and grab a quintessential European car, which is the Yellowbird, which we're gonna buy in blue. Yeah. Yeah, about that. I always thought it was called the Yellowbird because the version that ended up making the car famous happened to be painted in yellow. It did like 200 miles an hour or something, which back in the time was just like mind blown type of speed. And then it became the Yellowbird, but is just the CTR beforehand. So it's kind of strange, yes, man. Maybe I'm wrong on that one. Maybe I'm right, but another thing. Look at Midfield Raceway here. Yo, Polyphony. What happened to Midfield Raceway? Bring back Midfield! Another fantastic fictional racing circuit that feels like a racing circuit. And my goodness, the competition is all way slower than I expected them to be. And this car does not turn at all. Which, someone's saying right now, when you put the car on the grass, of course it's not going to turn, you idiot. Which I'd say, you are correct. Gotta remember, it's rear engine. Just keep the gas mashed once you get sideways. That's what you gotta do. That and drive over polygons while flat downshifting. Seems legit, right? Real driving simulator right here, guys. All the other driving simulators are just imitating. Well, the real driving simulator, please stand up. Please stand up. Please stand up. That's just a joke because a video game does not have legs. And here's where all the Supra fanboys start crying because of the fact that a Supra is in second to last. If it wasn't for me spinning out, it would be in last. But that's a very weird car as well, you know, the Supra. I think I might have mentioned this beforehand, where it really does seem like the love for that car. Oh my goodness! The German engineering has failed! No! No! 9! 9! 9! No. No. My controller died. What is the meaning of this nonsense? Apparently it's Gran Turismo saying you must drive Japanese cars. If you don't drive Japanese cars, the steering wheel is liable to fail on you at any time. Which would be a terrible thing to have happen in real life. That would be even worse. That would be just bad. Nobody wins when the steering wheel fails to steer. Unless you happen to be Sebastian Buemi, in which case everybody won because we now have a hilarious YouTube highlight of a guy trying to steer a car with no front wheels. It won't turn. Okay. Okay. Let's just go to Laguna Seca. We'll come back to Midfield later. Maybe it's a curse or something. I honestly do not know because I got fresh, brand spanking new batteries in this thing. I got the wireless receiver like literally 6 inches away from my controller right now. And it starts back up just fine. It's like, well, I understand it. Maybe someone's jamming my frequencies. I'm being sabotaged. But no, the Toyota Supra is like that car that, it was a good car, don't get me wrong. It was a car that's very impressive by, those standards and everything like that, but it seems like really since the Fast and the Furious, thanks, it's like, oh my god, that's like the greatest car in the history of the greatest cars ever. Like, it's been put up on this pedestal like it is freaking the most amazing thing ever. Which I don't necessarily understand. Well, I do understand, but it's kind of silly. It's still a cool car. I wouldn't mind one. Anybody has a free Supra that they're willing to give me, I'll go ahead and take donations of that. And you mad, Zanardi? Because I just put your move to shame. I just made a pass by landing on a guy. That takes true skill and talent and ability. And again, if he did that nowadays, people would be saying, oh my god. Maybe it's standards have changed, which they certainly have, but at the same time, maybe they don't need to change. Maybe there's good flaws to have. This thing does not turn at all. Really gotta brake late and stomp on them. Not that there's really any other choice when you're using a digital input that's either on or off, and turn to get that rear end to step out, in which case it does actually step out. And man, that Viper is fast here. Actually, kind of surprised. And the corkscrew in Gran Turismo 2 is probably like the most difficult corner in the history of difficult corners. Yeah. At least we didn't go flying off into the barrier. That'd be very embarrassing to do. It's funnier when you make a pass that way than when you just miss everything entirely. Trust me. Come on, the German engineering! Ja! And yes, I know, it's terrible. Just terrible. Meanwhile, here we have a 450 horsepower Viper, a 350 horsepower. Oh my freaking goodness. Oh my freaking goodness. Remember, people, buy Japanese. Buy Japanese. That is the lesson to be learned here. So I'm going to go ahead and do something about this, even if it requires me to buy a freaking new controller, which I will definitely be going to wired in that case. Definitely not with the Xbox controller. There's a reason why. Why? Just time out. Totally sidebarring here. PlayStation 1, greatness. PlayStation 2, greatness. PlayStation 3, pretty good. It's really balanced generation between the two, but the PlayStation controller, superior. I've spent so much time with it. Why do I have a 360 controller for my PC? Why did I do that? Somebody smack me, please. And that's going to finish up this segment. We will resume after I figure out what the heck is going on, because now it's got me angry. So yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this brief return to Gran Turismo 2 world. Bye.